Things really backfired in Dallas last night for the Avalanche in Colorado. Are the Yankees wasting Aaron Judge's most formidable years? And my picks for the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. All on today's 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Let's get into her.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversation going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Today's show, as always, brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. We are part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all of their great podcasts, such as No Credentials Required. I got it on one of the TVs down here on this beautiful Sunday, May the 4th. I'm not saying it because I'm not a dork. It's just one of those, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm just, I am a bit of a dork, but I'm not a dork in that direction, I guess. But thank you for all those who listen to the show and watch the show up on YouTube and get a lot of feedback about my rant. I know I was a little bit upset on, I guess it was Friday night when I did that about my analytics and launch angle and that stuff, but I rewatched a little bit of that show. I was clipping things for social media. I was a little amped up there on a Friday afternoon. I should have been a little bit happier. It's away from the office and everything else. I should have been smiling, but I guess I was quite passionate about what I was talking about there on Friday night. But thanks to those who reached out and agreed with me on my take on that's a great swing. I hope I never hear that again, but I'm sure I will at some point this week at the Ball Diamond or at a baseball wherever near you. Anyways, last night, heck of a hockey game. At the time of this recording, on Saturday night, Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. Game 7, obviously the two best words in sports, but they weren't wrong. Heck of a hockey game last night. Me and Deanne, we went up for a Saturday night pint or two to just get out of the house a little bit, and we were watching the game over at Brown Social House. And next thing you know, it was 2-1, and well, whatever. Let's take off a couple minutes early. Get home, and holy cripes, it's 4-2 and this game's over. Bingo, bango, bongo. That's it. Crazy the way that one turned out. You thought Colorado kind of had that in the bag. They got two of the best players in the world in Makar, and it was kind of non-existent in that playoff, I thought. And Nathan McKinnon rolling around the ice like he always did, the big workhorse. He's just an amazing hockey player. But Dallas, they had some goaltending with Jake Ottinger, and that's it. The Colorado Avalanche wasted another year of Makar and McKinnon. But the funny story, or the thing about this story that makes me laugh about it, was that Mikko Rantanen was the big star last night, and the ultimate troll job, in my opinion, in these NHL playoffs so far. You remember Rantanen, he got traded from that same Colorado Avalanche team back in January before the trade deadline happened, because Colorado figured that they were going to get ahead of it because they thought that Rantanen wasn't going to re-sign, even though Rantanen did say in the days prior to that he would take a bit of a hometown discount and wouldn't get the go for the market value, which is probably about 13-14 million bucks, same as Draisaitl. Got Draisaitl and him have the same agent, but he would have got a big payday somewhere, and he ended up getting in Dallas. We'll get to that the way this all turned out. But Rantanen, he didn't like it in his time in Carolina very long after that trade from Colorado to Carolina for a guy named Jack Drury. We'll get up to him in half a second too. What a wreck that turned out to be late in the third period last night. Kind of the reason, kind of funny how it all went around full circle with this trade to for Rantanen when he originally went to Carolina. He couldn't get a deal done, didn't want to go there. Right at the deadline, he got traded to these Dallas Stars, who he's with right now. Got the $12.5 million or $12 million, whatever it was, for 7 years, and there it is, 87.5. But the big story last night, obviously, 3 points in a 4-2 win. Was it 4 points? It don't much matter. But anyways, he was the driving force behind that Colorado loss, and Dallas moving on to the next round of the playoffs. I disagree with these moves all the time, and you hear different stories in different ways of how this goes through, and I don't know if I'm right or if the other talking heads who do this are right, but I just think, you know what, when you have an asset, you hold on to that asset and you try to win every year. This whole thing, you got to take advantage of your assets. If he's not going to sign, you got to get rid of him and try to get some different prospects and picks and whatever it might be. And I've said it before and I'll say it again here in the 1420 Sports Bar podcast, for Beer Sports Talking a whole lot more, that prospects and picks are just prospects and picks. They're just bodies. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. When you have a guy, an elite talent, say a top 20 guy in the National Hockey League, and then you have a top, like I said earlier, top 5, top 10, two guys in McKinnon and McCarr, you hold on to those guys, and you find a way to hold on to those guys, especially for the season that you're in. I'm not saying you got to try to sign everybody when the season's over. It's because that's impossible, especially in the National Hockey League with the salary cap. But you hold on to those guys, and you make sure that you can make this work, because you don't know where you're going to get a chance to win ever again. You don't know what could happen in the offseason. You don't know what could happen. A guy says, I'm retired. A guy says that I'm out. You look at Landeskog, he came back. So that was another bonus that they had with him. I'm not sure the exacts of what the salary cap where they were at for the season, but they would have made it work. And having Rantanen on your team would have been a lot better than not having him on your team for a Stanley Cup playoff run that is out, a team that's out now because of that same Mikko Rantanen. So the way it came back to haunt Colorado should be a lesson for every sports franchise throughout the history of sports, that you can't just keep rebuilding and regrouping every year. When you have a chance to win something, you take a hold of that chance and you take it. What Steve Woodward, when you see a chance, take it. Find romance, make it. Right. That's the. Geez, I'm listening. I listened to a lot of '80s music the last few days down here in the down in the Yankee Tavern North. I've really enjoyed my couple of days off and just doing some different things and just relaxing a little bit. Don't get it nearly often enough, but here I am here for you to go to your listening pleasure and maybe your viewing pleasure up on YouTube later on. But enough of my rambling about whatever. I find it astonishing that teams continue to do this, continue to take advantage of an asset and get rid of it, especially a team that's doing, like, I understand if your team's not very good and doesn't have a chance to win, but Colorado is in win now mode. They have 2 to 3 of the great players. They made some deals for some goaltenders, so it was a win now mode, and they had a chance to win now. So now they only have that one championship a couple 3 years ago, and now what? It's like you're kind of in a regroup mode, because now you got to give McCarr a bunch of money. So this year would have been the ultimate opportunity to get something done and to maybe win themselves a championship. You think if without Rantanen on Dallas, they probably win that series in 5 or 6. Rantanen turned out to be a heck of a producer for that team, and it might have been a little extra motivation for Rantanen. I mean, obviously Colorado didn't know they were going to be facing Dallas in the first round, and the way it turned out, to trade him to Carolina, get him to the Eastern Conference, get him the heck out of here, and then so it would have been. But he came back, and it's the ultimate troll job for Rantanen. The handshakes were nice last night. I'm not sure. I like that a whole bunch. I like the tradition of it, but the last person I want to shake hands with, I'm thinking, because like I said before, I was always a bit of a sore loser when I was when I was in sports when I was younger, and I didn't really like the shaking hands out, especially after a hard-fought series like that, where you're supposed to shake hands in sportsmanship. Yeah, screw that. Go pound some beers and get mad and slam your stick is kind of how I used to think. That's probably why I didn't last very long in the world of sports as an athlete, but now I'm back in it another way. I always find a way to come back. Here's another troll job for you. But I really, really think that having a guy like Rantanen on your team is better than not having on your team. I mean, it sounds obvious, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Joe Sakic and the rest of the talking heads or the rest of the management in Colorado know a lot more than I do, or do they? Like you can't squander these opportunities to win. You just can't do it, because what happens in the offseason if Landeskog, he might be out? What happens in the offseason if McKinnon's whatever might happen to him? What happens if there's an accident? What happens if there's a long-term injury? Like on and on and on, ifs and buts it could happen. So when they had a chance with Rantanen, hold on to that asset. And if you lose him, you lose him. But that's a chance you have to take. You can't think about, you got to forget about today and don't worry about tomorrow. Just get it done. You can't worry about all the other stuff and the ifs and buts. You don't know. You can't predict the future. Nobody can. Nobody has that DeLorean who can go into the future and then come back and fix things. You don't know. When you have a chance to win a championship, you've got to take it. And like, I know that like you try to take advantage of your assets. You don't know what money you're going to have. I get that. But you get a championship, and I said it before here on the show, is that you win one, you give yourself 3 to 5 to 6 years of grace with your fan base. Look at the Cubs; they're back doing it again. But you give yourself a long grace period that they'll forgive you for years of not winning one. Like if they could have gotten the finals this year and maybe won one. I mean, the West is tough. It's going to be very tough for Dallas to face whoever they got going. And they got Winnipeg, St. Louis tonight. That should be a beauty. And what happened to Hellebuck? Like he's so good in the regular season. And last year was the same thing we talked about the other day a little bit. He was so good in the regular season, MVP and Vezina and on it goes. And he gets into a opposing team's barn in the playoffs, and he looks like a young Brent Radlinsky in there. He's absolutely awful. And it happened again on Friday night. He got yanked again. Like, I think they'll get it done tonight. I hope they get it done tonight for my mother's sake once again, and my sister's sake once again. But to get blown out on the road night after night, it's unbelievable how that just how he's just Jekyll and Hyde the way he does that. It's crazy. We talked about a little bit, but we'll get back to that series maybe a little bit tonight, or a little later on today. But I think Colorado really blew an opportunity to get something done. I think Colorado really should have. Like they're looking back, and I'll bet you Joe Sakic or the management team is saying, well, "What the heck did we do? Like, why would we make this deal? And why all these teams think they gotta find an asset to they gotta use an asset to get an asset? You don't know what you're getting. When you have something that you know you got, keep it until the very last possible second when you were in win now mode and your team has a chance to win something. It was a weird move, especially when Rantanen said he would take the hometown discount. I don't understand why they would make that move. It would be like if something happened with, I know we talked about McDavid moving on in a couple of years back, and it probably isn't going to happen. It'd be like, okay, if McDavid after this season, he's a free agent after next season. If Connor McDavid said, you know what, you better move me. I'm saying, I'm not moving yet. This is my last few months with you, man. We could have won something. We could have had something done. Or if the management group says, you know what, maybe we should. And I guarantee it's come across somebody's head out there in Edmonton. I guarantee that somebody in one of those back rooms at some point, geez, even with Draisaitl, geez, do we make a move with this guy? Because is he going to sign here? Like you look what's happening in Toronto with Mitch Marner. Marner, his camp's been, I mean, it's his dad, but they've been very, very hush about what's going to happen there. He's a free agent, and it could be in 5 days. Could be, well, if not 5, but you know what I mean. In a week and a half, he could be a free agent and gone and get nothing. But the Leafs they've been in win now mode for 50 plus years, but they actually have a chance to do something right now. And I think they're going to be okay. Yeah, no, they're not. They're going to lose they'll lose to Florida in 5 or 6, I think. But the Leafs aren't going to get again. If he signs elsewhere, they're just shit out of luck. Took me 12 minutes and 59 seconds of today's show to swear. If that's still a swear word, who cares? Doesn't matter. And that's why you listen, because you like this bold, blunt, straight, honest sports bar talk. That's right. But if Marner leaves, they held on to it. They went for it. They added some pieces here and there. They had the trade deadline. They went and got this guy, went and got that guy. They've been building, and this year they're going to do it. If they would have made a trade, got rid of Marner for something. There was some rumors out there at the deadline that he was going to end up going to Carolina as well. But you just wonder if that was like, oh geez, like we're going to make this deal, and then the fan base would have been like, well, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like the Leafs fan base doesn't care about the future at all. Win now, and that's how every team should be. Win now. When you have a chance to win now, do it. When you have the horses that you've been building, that you drafted, that you developed, that you had these guys, this is why you did draft and develop these guys. That's why there is this thing. That's why there is free agency. That's why you have this thing. That's why you can't build a team 100% through free agency, because you have to have some homegrown talent. You can't just grab a bunch of guys and put a team together. I'm going to use Deanne's slogan that she goes, you got to have a team. You got to play as a team. And once all these guys kind of know each other a little bit, they've been going together for quite some time this the year. And so moving Marner would have been a huge mistake. Whether they get anything from him, like whether he signs elsewhere in the offseason, I don't know. Right now, I don't care. It's right now that matters. It's right now that matters for my team. It's right now. We'll get to Aaron Judge and the Yankees in the next segment. It's right now that when you have a chance and you've been building this team for 8-9 years now, you don't just give up when you're close. You can't just not. And is Colorado's success story with that one Stanley Cup over the years? No. I mean, one's better than none. One's 100% better than none. But with a guy like McKinnon, generational. With a guy like Makar, generational. Landeskog was your captain. I know he's been out for a while. Then you had a Rantanen, and you have these guys that should be winning 2 and 3 and 4 championships, or getting to the finals 2 and 3, 4 times at the very least. I know getting out of the West is tough with the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers, like we just talked about. Now Dallas, with what they got going on, they're without their best 2 players. Actually, it's kind of remarkable they did win that. But when you have a chance to win something, it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't go all in all the time. Like when you have superstars, you have to be all in all the time, because you don't know when you're going to get that chance again. You don't know. And it's remarkable how many teams that this and it might be just fodder for podcasts and sports talk shows. It might be just, you got to move your assets. You don't know what you're going to get for him. Struggling a little bit with that. You don't know what you're going to get here at 11:21 a.m. in the morning. Of course, it's in the morning, Brent. Idiot. It's maybe it's just fodder that maybe most teams aren't thinking about moving their assets, but you see it happen a lot. Like that's why you get these guys in these long-term deals, and you go, what the heck are we doing? And maybe like everybody should get 3-year deals. I don't know. Maybe that's the way about it. So you don't have these problems, or you have 5-year deals, or I don't know. It's got to be something to keep your guys, or just have 1-year deals. And I don't know, hope for the best. But Colorado blew an opportunity. They're up 2-0 in that series, I believe, in a late lead last night. And the funny thing about this, that trade, the way it even comes back to haunt Colorado even more, is that the penalty late in the third period was called on a guy I didn't know this guy even existed, Jack Drury. Drury basically, he manhandled, tackled 4-yard line. He tackled the Dallas Stars player, and he kind of put his arms and like, what the heck? It was a penalty. You can't tackle guys. This isn't the National Football League. And it was a penalty. And so the guy that they traded for Rantanen to Carolina ends up so Rantanen comes back and screws him on the power play in Game 7 by the guy they traded him for. It's crazy how that all, like, the ultimate troll job by Rantanen and Carolina and the Dallas Stars, the way it all worked out. Great game last night. That atmosphere in Dallas, and it's remarkable. When you watch these games down in the States and how they do get behind it, and it's been a like why thing to me. I don't know why hockey's not more popular throughout the United States. But you see the markets that they've been around for a long time, and when the NHL are in their markets, like the teams that have the cities that have teams, they get behind it 100%. It was unbelievable to watch that fan base in Dallas last night, on their feet most of the game, if not all the game. They got their chants, they got their sayings and slogans and their banners and flags and everything else. It was a great viewing pleasure for me last night. It was a fantastic game. I wasn't really invested in that series throughout. Got a lot going on. Other series you can only watch so much sports. Like I watch the Yankees and this and that and everything else, and you trying to run a baseball team, so you don't get a bunch of chances to watch. But watching that series last night was something else, and the way that the fan base was into it, and you hope the rest of the playoffs can be as good. They've been fantastic so far. We'll get into my picks a little bit later on. Like I said, I hope Winnipeg, the wall of white, whatever they call it there, will be rocking tonight in Winnipeg. It's crazy how this series turned out. I knew Winnipeg, or since the Four Nations face-off, St. Louis has been a wagon. Unbelievable. The best record in hockey. Only 3 or 4 losses since that tournament back in February. But I didn't think that they would take the Winnipeg Jets. Maybe that's what the Jets are. Maybe the Jets are just the Leafs. Maybe that's just what they are. They're a great regular season team. They got a bunch of guys. Having Scheifele out, maybe he'll go tonight. You never know. But here, you have to be. I don't think Scheifele's this kind of a guy where he wouldn't, if he could. Like, I don't think he'd think about next year. I think if he seems like the kind of guy who's got a lot of get up and go in him. I just think that he's the kind of guy that would play, but he's hurt, so that hurts Winnipeg a lot. He's one of their best players, one of the better players in the Western Conference. He's not going to get you 100 points or 120 points, but he's that kind of a character guy you need in a Game 7. But you see a lot of these guys and all the injury, but it always comes out when the playoffs are all over. This guy was playing with this guy was playing with that. This guy's had a broken wheel. This guy's had and then you look at Daly, and the Yankees are subject to it right now. You look at it daily. I was watching Major League Baseball Network last night. The four game ticker that they got going. It's actually fantastic. If you have the attention span like I do, where you can just turn your head and not really pay attention to a lot of things, but nothing. If that makes any sense. It's crazy the amount of injuries that happen in Major League Baseball, obliques and strains and hurt and that. And I remember, I think it was John Kruk said, it could have been anything, that John Kruk basically said you can't pull fat. Right. And all these superstar athletes, especially in baseball, how they just get hurt so often. I get the arm thing because the human arm is not supposed to bend the way that they have the way they're throwing the baseball. But the rest of them, I do not understand it. How these guys, the injuries, and Mike Trout hurt again. Ian, is it time for him just to? It's just too bad. I'm not a Trout apologist by any means, and you guys know that who listen to the show. But is it just time for him to say, you know what, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. This wasn't meant to be. My body just can't take it. Got going too young, and I was watching something yesterday. Apparently, had a lot of time on my hands yesterday. That doesn't happen very often. Actually, some yard work too. But Barry, no, it was Alex Rodriguez, not Barry Bonds. Both had some allegations against them in their own separate ways, but kids play too much nowadays. They don't practice enough. They're playing 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 games a week, and it's hard. And it's hard reps. Maybe just practicing, learning how to play the game, like we talked about the other day. Learning how to play and what matters might be the half the problem. So that might be part of the reason why there's so many injuries nowadays with today's athlete. They just play too much. Like they just play way too much. They don't give their body time to recuperate and everything else. Especially with all the sports science that you have, you would wonder why there's so many more injuries than there used to be. But once again, like John Crocker, whoever said it, you can't pull fat, and the way it was. But it's been a great playoff so far. The Leafs get going tomorrow night with the. And I hope for the best. I really do. I'm expecting the worst, and the answer says all the time: expect the worst, hope for the best. I'm expecting the worst, hope for the best. But I just don't think that they got the goaltending to do it. Like Stolarz is really good, but he's not as good as Bobrovsky. And like when you have a roster, crossing back and forth, the team with the best goalie usually wins. And that's what happened actually with Dallas last night. Ottinger's better than Blackwell or Blackwood. There it is. Pretty simple. And then the troll job of Mikko Rantanen came back and did it. It's crazy. Sports is funny. And we'll end this segment on this. I do not understand why management gives up, and I don't understand why fan bases allow it to happen. Because I tell you what, if my team was in a hunt like Colorado was, and they said in January 15th, whatever it was, we're going to be trading away one of our best players, I just said, give me a refund of my season tickets. Refund me, because Jack Drury and whoever this guy is that they traded for him, and a couple of picks and a couple of prospects in 2027, they aren't going to be as good as Rantanen. Give me back my money. Give me back my season tickets. I ain't coming anymore. Refund me everything else, because this isn't happening. And it was a horrible, horrible move. And it turned out to backfire big time. And in the ultimate troll job way, like I said, for him to come back in Game 7 and basically put his old team to bed the way he did, it was a story. It was a storybook. Like no one could have wrote it. No one could have wrote that way traded the way it worked out with the other trade going to Dallas, and then he signed the contract. It's crazy to watch. It's going to be a fun one tonight in Winnipeg. We've got 11:28. It's about 5 hours, 6 hours till game time. I hope they win, just for the fine people of Manitoba. It's my dad's originally from, so here's hope they pull one. Anyways, there's my thoughts and shots from the last night's hockey, and a little bit of, I talked about a lot of stuff here. Come back, talk a little bit of Yankees baseball, but here's a word from our sponsors over there at Righteous Felon Jerky. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky. Righteous Felon Jerky, proud sponsors of the Belly Up Media, or the Belly Up Media, well, you know what I'm talking about, Belly Up Sports and the 1420 podcast. Go to righteousfelon.com. There it is, and change it up on our YouTube channel. That's why I was chuckling a little bit. I always forget to do so. I need a producer. I need a full-time producer. It doesn't pay very well, or at all. We can negotiate something. If you can make this show into a few bucks, you get the other half. So I need a producer. Email me at 1420sports@gmail.com. We'll talk. We'll negotiate something. Producer large, intern, producer, but all of it. Anyways, be a little goofy for some reason this morning. I don't know why. Maybe relaxed, going a little stir crazy. I'm inside the house. I don't normally get this time to do this. It's been nice. Anyways, the Yankees, lost another one yesterday, heartbreaking fashion. Bullpen gave up, but that's not the problem here. This team just, what are they, 19-14 right now, 5 games above 500. Fried's been unbelievable. Like, he's 6-0, hasn't given up a run, it seems, in a month and a half, but he's been unbelievable. He's been all you could ask for when they got him in that free agent deal. And then you think, well, what could have happened if they would have had Cole? But Cole, of course, got hurt. And this is the way baseball is, and you have to prepare for that. But it's the rest of the team that kind of is starting to bother me a lot. And the thing that's really starting to bug me is Aaron Judge. Not how well he's playing. This guy is on. It's unbelievable what he's doing. 11 home runs already. 30, like the stats that actually matter. 11 home runs. 33 RBIs, hitting 432 right now. That's unheard of. Like, it's just absolutely crazy what this guy is doing. That might be the best hitter in Yankees history when it's all said and done. Like, if he was to call it good in a couple of years, now he won't, but in a couple of years he would be the greatest hitter in Yankee history, and I don't think it's debatable what this guy's been doing on a daily basis. I know the lore of Babe Ruth, the lore of Mickey Mantle and DiMaggio and on it goes, and Gehrig and everything else. But what this guy's doing it's unheard of in this, especially the way the game is played today. He's playing the game. It's not just home runs either. This guy's to be hitting 432 and with 11 home runs, the doubles and triples and singles and getting on base. It's unheard of what this guy's doing. But the problem you got is that the Yankees are wasting this guy's years. How many more years this guy got in him? How many more healthy years this guy got? I mean, he's a big body. He obviously takes care of himself. He's a great big body that usually start to wear down after a while. Like, well, okay, well, how many more years is this going to take on? He's been around since 2016, I think, or 15, whatever it was. He had a few at bats that first year. So 15 or 16 and 17 was their real breakout year with the Baby Bombers, where they should have won a World Series. And my favorite team in the recent history. It's not even that recent anymore. That's all of a sudden 8 years ago. Time flies, doesn't it? Like, it's only like, seems like yesterday I was there. Me and my, I went 2017 by myself. It was one of those years I went by myself. 13, 14, 15, 16 by myself. 17 with my brother, 18 with my brother and Deanne, 19 with my brother and my sister. That's how it went. And then 20, COVID happened. And 22, I think me and Deanne went down again. I can't remember the whole thing, but we're going to try to get down again. Well, there's that little orange menace, so maybe I won't be, but there's tariffs and things. But we're not being political here on a Sunday morning, the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. But the just the waste of years you got with Stanton's on the 60-day. I don't think he's going to play again this year. But so he's out, and now you got Volpe. He's out, and that's kind of a blessing. Volpe. I haven't been a big fan of him since his rookie year. Yeah, he can play some good defense, but the guy can't hit. Now you got Jazz Chisholm out for 6 weeks at least with the oblique strain. Cole's out, like the aforementioned Cole. He's just out, and on it goes. LeMahieu, well, he's basically done, but I'm kind of begging for LeMahieu to come back at third base because everybody else kind of stinks right now. You got Austin Wells, who can't throw anybody out at home from he's only throwing out 25%. And then that, I know stats are for losers, but when you're only throwing out 25% of base runners, the Rays stole 6 guys yesterday, 6 times, I believe, yesterday on Austin Wells. So there's problems in Yankee land, and they're just not good enough. I know me and friend of the show, the Captain's Corner, Ryan, we before the show, everything would be okay with the Yankees, but this is kind of what you got, 19-14 month into the season. This is what it is. This is what it is. I mean, if you can be every month be five games ahead, you're going to be okay. But it gets you 95 wins. You're a playoff team. But are they going to scare anybody in the playoffs? Probably not. You got one guy you can hit. Well, 2 Goldschmidt's have been on hitting 350, but after that, everybody's hitting 250 and under. Like Chisholm is 185 or something. Like, it's just like, what are the Yankees doing to surround themselves with guys for Judge to make sure he can get something out of this career? Yeah, he's going to make $700 million or whatever the number is. Like I said, when it gets past $300 million, it doesn't matter anymore. In fact, when it gets past 50 million, it probably doesn't matter anymore. If you can't make that work for your entire career, but like I said, pay everybody $500 million, figure out the term later. But you just wonder what the Yankees front office and the brass is thinking by not getting something. Like over the years, they've had a lot of guys who roll out in front of them they could have paid money to. Like you hate to keep harping on the Machados and the Bryce Harpers of the world and the Freddie Freemans of the world, and on it goes. They could have had in pinstripes over the years, and they just didn't. And are they being more fiscally responsible? They're still spending a ton of money. They are, and you can't predict injuries. Like I said with the previous segment, talking about Colorado not having anything to show for what they got because they traded an asset away, and which was stupid. And then now you have Judge flailing away and carrying that team on his back to a 19 wins so far. Are the Yankees blowing it? Yeah. They're completely blowing this guy's career. Jim talks about all the time the Fan of the Van podcast. This isn't the evil empire. This isn't George's Yankee team anymore. And I get it. You can't go out and spend that kind of money. It's just not. It's not. And a lot of players don't even want to come to New York anymore. Pinstripes are heavy, so they just don't want to come. There's other teams who are offering more money in nicer places. Pretty simple, and there's not the pressure playing New York, like there is. Like you could play, I'd play San Diego. If someone gave me that kind of money, I played San Diego, and you remember Judge almost ended up there in his free agent year a couple of years ago. But they just you overspend on some guys, and you end up giving Judge what he should have. You got to have him in your franchise, but what else are you doing? Like what else? You have two guys. You have a bunch, and then they do get a bunch of aging veterans who help for a little bit. But then what? You got a guy in center field, you don't know who he is. You got Dominguez. You're not even giving him a chance to play and see what he can do. So you got a back catcher, can't throw anybody out. Rookie of the year candidate last year, and you got a bunch of other guys. You got a bunch of other people that are just non-consequential players, and you're like, okay, what are we doing? We have basically a 3-man roster and a pitcher right now. If they would have had 2 pitchers, if they have Cole, probably not having this conversation. If they have Cole sitting there, they could be they're not 19 and 14. Do some quick math here. Let's say you have 3 wins, they're 22 and 11. It's a different conversation altogether, right? And it changes things a lot having that guy not get out. So not having any more starting pitching, not having starting pitching depth in your organization. Devin Williams hasn't worked out like we hoped. Like it's all this stuff kind of piles up over the years, and it just doesn't. When your farm system isn't doing anything, and you don't got guys coming up in the minor leagues is tough, but because guys get hurt all the time, so it's really tough to do. But the way they're wasting Judge's years is quite concerning because how many more healthy years does he have? How many more healthy years does he got going? Because Jeter played till he was 40, but he obviously won how many championships when he was done. Like it's been to 2014 since he retired. That's a lot. That's 11 years ago, right? So he played till he was 40 years old. Judge is only 8 years away, 7 years away from that. So how many more healthy years does he got? You remember Jeter was kind of in the last 3 years. He got hurt a lot, and he got hurt in the playoffs that year, and it just kind of just steamrolled. So we're not many years away from Judge being at that point, and it's too bad it took it the way Major League Baseball has it set up that all these guys. Can't get to their big payday until later on in their career, especially the way Judge didn't get the big leagues till to a certain point. But how many more years does Judge have of health? Of 100% health. Like he played a lot of games last few years. He gets his days where he's the DH or he gets an off day, but it's concerning to see how many more years he has in him at this pace. You can't think he's going to keep this pace up forever. You're not going to hit 65 home runs or 62 home runs or 60 home runs year after year after year after year. Eventually, those years just wear out. It's just how it is. One of the greatest swing batters of all time. Like, if he's not the greatest, he might even be like this. This might be just Yankee fandom talking, but you got to think that Barry Bonds is one of the great. Like, yes, Bonds had his issues with the juice and the creams and the blah blah blah, Belco or whatever it was, but he's still one of the greatest hitters of all time. Judge is ranking up to be better. His power numbers are better. His over the years, and then I know Barry Bonds didn't see a bunch of pitches to hit in his career because they were walking him all the time. So he's scared he's going to put it into the bay out there all the time. But He is like Judge's power numbers along with his just regular numbers batting average. It's unheard of. And this guy could go down as the greatest right-handed hitter of all time, not just in Yankee history. It's ranking up there. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll do a little bit of deep dive. Maybe we won't blow the proverbial load this early. We'll start talking about that maybe in June to see what kind of power numbers he's got going. But if he's still hitting 400 and has 18 home runs, 19 home runs in June, you're talking some pretty lofty crap going on. But back to the negative of the Yankees, you just don't think that this is going to be their year. They're just not good enough. 19 and 14 just isn't going to cut it. They don't have the pitching staff, and Cole going down, and Rodon's Rodon. I don't like the guy. I'm done with the guy. I hope that Marcus Stroman never sees the pitching mound again with his tattoos on his neck and everything else. And maybe he needs a little bit of holistic healing or something between the ears, because there's something wrong with that guy. Anybody who thinks that that's a good idea, like one or two, whatever. But when you start covering your face and your head and your things and your stuff, that's when you got to say, mom's got to be shaking her head at home. That's when you don't disappoint your parents. Never embarrass your parents. Marcus Stroman, I guarantee, I don't know how many zeros you got in your bank account, your parents disappointed in you. I guarantee they're disappointed in you for how you look. Don't be an idiot. Word of advice from 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. Yeah, it's can they? Yeah. Should they win today? Yeah. As time is recording, they should win a ball game today, but you just never know the way the baseball turns out. The Blue Jays, they're not doing much. Hey, like they're under 500. They'll be under 500 all year long. Bo Bichette got his first home run of the season yesterday. That's a disappointment because he's looking for a contract. He cut his hair. Maybe that's the problem with Vladdy. Vladdy and him, they both cut their hair. So Samson, who was he Samson the Greek god or something or whatever? He was one of those guys, and they cut his hair and lost all his powers. That's what happened to Bichette and to Vladdy. Vladdy got paid. Now he's not doing anything. And the Jays just aren't good enough. They're just not good enough either. The Cubs, look out for the Cubs. Got the most stolen bases in baseball, most home runs in baseball. Weird how that works. And they're winning. Weird how that works. I'll bet you no one's saying great swing at Wrigley Field. I'll bet you. Only when they hit home runs, they might be saying it. Okay. Stolen bases work. Anyways, let's get to my Stanley Cup predictions going on right now. Still got one more series to finish off today with the Jets and the Blues, and then the winner of that one gets the Dallas Stars starting early next week. But I'm going to take the Jets tonight at home to win. Hellebuck's going to do something at home. This is not playing the road, so he's got to be great. Shut all the pundits up, because if they don't get it done, that's one long summer of God knows what in Winnipeg that they might be making some major changes, because that team is poised to win right now. And if they don't get it done tonight, then win. And that's the biggest thing with these teams. Colorado Avalanche. And that's the thing with, like, all these teams have been gearing up for years and signing their guys or their long-term guys. So if the Winnipeg Jets don't get it done tonight and move on to the next round, there's going to be major changes. If they don't get it done now, then win. Take the Blues to win tonight. Then they play the Stars. I think the Stars win that. Ottinger's just fantastic, and Dallas is kind of rolling, and they just have things going on. They're going to get some guys back. Hurricanes, Capitals. Hurricanes aren't that good. Take the Capitals. Obi on the run that he's going to go on. I think the Capitals are going to come out of the. They're going to come out of the East. I really believe that. Oilers, Golden Knights. I don't like the fact that I'm not taking the Oilers, but I just don't know how much I trust Calvin Pickard. I know Calvin Pickard's the only goaltender in the National Hockey League right now with 4-0 in the playoffs, the way he took over for old Stewie Skinner. But Skinner, not Skinnerd. This isn't Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner was on TV right now, that's why I said Skinner. It's quite the morning here. But I just think that the depth that they have in Vegas is going to overtake McDavid and the rest of the Oilers. But the best player in the world, like I was talking about the other night, this guy takes a whole another level. And if he wants to go and score a bunch of goals, he could just do it. You know what? Take the Oilers. Take the Oilers over the Knights in 7 games in that one. Panthers, Leafs. Take the Panthers in 6. Breaks my heart, but once again, the Leafs are not going to get it done. There's my Stanley Cup playoff picks for this, for coming up for the second round. A lot of fun. I've been enjoying doing these last couple of days. I got a busy couple of weeks coming up ahead of me, or a busy couple of months, but I'm going to try to get another one out probably either tomorrow or Tuesday, and then Thursday again. busy next weekend, and the next week the Canadian College Baseball Conference Championships run. So if you're in the Lethbridge area, make sure you're coming down and see the College World Series. It's great baseball. We got some great events planned as well. Going to a pancake breakfast. Who doesn't like pancakes? On the Thursday the World Series. Friday's Alumni Day. Start your long weekend off early day. Skip out of work. That whole thing. Saturday is students thing. We're gonna have a great big beer garden and stuff like that. Sunday is Mom's Day. And then there we go. So there it is. That's the Canadian World Series, and then the bowl season gets going. So lots of stuff going on here. Gonna be busy few months, but I love it. Part of the sports world. Wouldn't change it for the world. It's hard, but it's something I've always dreamt of. Anyways, 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Thanks for listening, everybody. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to bellyupsports.com. Check out all their great articles and other podcasts as well. And Jim over at the Fan of the Van, he's one of the best. If you guys haven't listened to him yet, I don't know what else I can tell you. If you're a football guy, a baseball guy, a wrestling guy, whatever it is, Jim will entertain the heck out of you. Cigar and Sports with E-Man as well. Check that one out. Just on and on it goes. The podcast family, it's great. Aaron, we'll get you on the show again. Maybe this week we'll get together. I owe you one or two. My aloofness kind of and my flakiness kind of gets the best of me sometimes. I get a lot going on between the ears, and you can't shake it sometimes. It gets tough. It gets tough, but with support and doing this crazy thing, getting some stuff off my chest once in a while, it isn't the worst thing. But there it is, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Have yourself a great day. Take care of each other. More importantly, take care of yourselves. Need you around, and it doesn't matter. Need you around, and it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have yourselves a great Sunday, folks. Whatever day of the week you listen to, have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon, and have a great day. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Brought to you by SeatGeek. Go to bellyupsports.com for the best of sports articles and podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever it is you get your podcast. Let's get it.